Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe. Jai Shri Shri Radha Vinu Bihari Ju Sachinandan Gaura Hari Ki Jai. Shri Gurudev Ki Jai. Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sorry. This thing is a little bit annoying here. The case, the cover.
Yeah.
I need help with it. There we go. I got it. Sorry about that. Now you're getting everything darshan. Everyone's there? Okay. Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Hari Bol.
Welcome to the temple of Shri Shri Radha Vinu Bihari Sachinandan Gaura Hari. They're always in Vrindavan, so we are coming live from their lotus feet in Vrindavan. We will begin with Mangalacharan, the auspicious invocation, starting with Vandeham, V-A-N-D-E, apostrophe, H-A-M, page 1 in Sri Gaudiya Gita Tucha Songbook, and also in the Gaudiya Kirtan app. I don't know what page that is, you just have to type it in. If it's too much for you, you can turn it down.
Right now.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaisnava Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Shakandita. Is everything okay? Sorry, we'll begin that again. I thought something is wrong over here, I wasn't sure. Is everything okay? Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavashta Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhandita Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Nityanamine Shri Krishna Lila Patane Sudaksham Audarya Madhurya Gunashcha Yuktam Varam Varenyam शिरोमणिं च श्रीकृष्णपादाच्युतैकहृदि चैतन्यलीलामृतसारसारं नारायणं तं सततं प्रपद्ये। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तो स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्योदेशतारिणे। नमो विष्णुपदाय गौरप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमद्भक्तिप्रज्ञानो केशवयुक्तिनामिने। अतिमर्त्यचरित्राय स्वश्रितानक्षपालिने जीवदुःखे सदरताय श्रीनाम प्रेमदायिने। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्तो सरस्वती नामिने। श्रीवर्षभारती देवी दयिताय कृपाभये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दयिने प्रभवे नमः। माधुर्योज्ज्वल प्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिदा श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दिनपारिणे रूपानुगतिरुधाप सिद्धान्तध्वन्तहारिणे। नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षान्नैराज्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भरसम्बोधे पदाम्बुजयते नमः। नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते। गौराविर्भावभूमिस्त्वं निर्देष्टा सजनप्रिय वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्रीजगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरद्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्तो राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जयतां सुरतोपङ्गो मम मन्दमतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदं बोधो राधा मदनमोहन। दिव्यगृङ्गारण्यकल्पद्रुमाद श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थो श्री श्रीराधा शीलगोविन्ददेव प्रेष्ठादिभिः सेव्यमानः स्मरामि। श्रीमन्द्रसरसारम्भे वंशिवद्दत्ततस्थितः कर्षं मे विस्मरैर्गोपीर्गोपीनाथ श्रेयस्तु नः। वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्ण भक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द। चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयकैर्वचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्द मङ्गलं मुनिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मस्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम् हरे नाम एव केवलं पदो नास्त्येव गतिरन्यथा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Srika Gurudev Spoke in India. Page 32, Gurudev Kripa Bindudiya, Gurudeva.
What instruments is similarly on Jivapadana Prabhu says it's breaking up a lot.
Okay. I think we're loud enough. Put it in this one here. We're going to switch over to a different carrier, so just bear with us for a moment.
More Jivan too, please.
One second. Excuse me. Is that better?
It's not showing yet. Yeah.
Is that better?
Is that better? Jivapadana Prabhu, is this a better signal?
Okay.
Okay. We've got a heart. It's better.
Sorry about that.
So Gurudev Kripa Bindudiya.
Is the connection better than before?
We are having wind. We are having wind. A windstorm.
Oh, really? There's a windstorm outside?
Didn't you say that? That we should close everything because the wind is...
It was starting to pick up, but
so they can have time to find it.
Kripa Karo Vaisnava Thakur, page 40. Starting with K-R-P-A, Kripa Karo Vaisnava Thakur.
Page number
100.
and it starts with
Hari. Hari Hari Vipale Janama Goina. Prabhu Prabhu, can you please post Sundaralala Sachira Dulala Nachata Shri Hari Kirtaname? I'm sure it's there. If it's not in the Gaudiya Kirtan app, it's definitely in kksongs.org. Page 361. Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai. Sundaralala Sachina Dulala Nachat Shri Hari Kirtan Mein. Sundaralala नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में नाचत श्री हरि नाचत श्री हरि कीर्तन में Anupam Madhuri Jodi.
Is that in the songbook or on the Gaudiya app?
It's here. No, it's not.
It's not in the Gaudiya app?
Wait. Let me just check. Oh, it is here. It's right there.
But is it in the Gaudiya app?
It's in KK songs, for sure. 3, 6, 4. Anupama, Madhuri, Jodi, Hamare, Shyam, Shyama ki.
So Anupama, Anupama, Madhuri, Jodi. Because then you can go into Krishna. Then you can go into Harima. Sudevi, is it still there?
It says live on there. Yeah.
Radha Vinodihari ki jai. Anupama Madhuri Jodi Hamare Shyam Shyama ki. रस भरी आँखियाँ हमारे श्यामा की. Shama
Is it still working?
Yeah, it seems to be.
Hare Krishna Mahamantra. stop playing the tambura spontaneously.
Perfect.
Is everyone still there?
Everyone is here.
Chat. We have to make sure we're not going to run out of connectiveness. 1 second. We seem to be okay. Hmm?
You can try Radha again.
No, it's fine. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Ajnanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Nityanamine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langayate gire yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandavat Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Astottara Shata Shri Srimad, Srila Bhaktivedanta, Narayan Goswami Maharaj. In the same, thousands of Dandavat Pranam unto the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Astottara Shata Shri Srimad, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, to our Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga, and to all Vaishnavas past, present, and future, including all of those who are with us on Facebook Live, I'm offering my Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. Low battery. It says this is low battery, but it's plugged in.
Just make sure the light is on. Did
It's
you
not
turn
on. Sudi, can you turn the light on the switch? It isn't plugged in.
Is it working now? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Technical difficulties.
Many technicalities here. We have battery backups, other backups. Electricity runs out and comes back on randomly. So today we're going to continue with Going Beyond Vaikuntha by Sri Sanatan Goswamipada. He is the one who has witnessed and written down Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita. And in this case here, our Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj is giving his Bhav Anuvad commentary on Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita. So before we begin, I'd like to just offer the prayer to Sri Sanatan Goswami from Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. Vairaga Yuga Bhakti Rasam Prayatna Apayanan Mam Anubhipshamandam Kripam Virya Paradukha Dukhi Sanatanastam Prabhum Ashrayami. Praying in the dust of the lotus feet of Sri Sanatan Goswamipada and our Gurudev, the commentator, that may even a particle of the moods and the mercy which is present within these pages manifest within our hearts.
Something just came to my heart, and because it seems we'll be doing this, reading this book, like I said, for about 30 years, I was wondering if perhaps you could teach us the shloka that you chant beforehand, like on a different video, and I'll post it tonight and it'll be on my page. And then everybody can learn it, and when you speak it, we can also add the pranam for ourselves there too.
Okay. So I'll do a teaching like a lead and repeat, I'll say the first word and Sudi and Sudevi will repeat, and you can all repeat with her, like a classroom setting. Vairagya.
Okay.
Vairagya. Okay.
Thank you.
Before I begin reading, I just read an amazing quote from Srila Gurudev today. And he was speaking about the nature of this material world. That in this material world, there are so many problems. He was actually speaking this in New Braj, in Badger, many, many years before. And it is within the essence of all advice, that booklet of his that was published. And he said, this material world is full of so many problems. One problem after the other, after another, after another. Problems, 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 problems. So many problems. And if we try to solve one, 10 more will come in its place. But actually, there's no problem. There's only one problem. Where is Krishna? He said, if you take care of that problem, that one problem, developing devotion, love and affection, bhakti for Krishna, then automatically all other problems will be solved. If we don't take care of that problem, we cannot take care of any other problem. We are bound by all other problems. So really there is no problem except for that one. If we go to the root of all problems, the original root of all problems for us is illusion about my identity. What is that? My identity is that I'm an eternal servant of Krishna. That's the root of all anarthas, the root of all other problems. If we just approach the root is devotion to Krishna. Only from that will we be able to please Krishna. And only from that will we also be satisfied. But without that, there is no way. There is no way. We are bound to suffer and enjoy the results of our karmas from billions and trillions of lifetimes, coming this way and that way in so many different ways. We're bound to accept these karmic results. Krishna says, as these dualities come to us, they come like the winter and summer seasons. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna shukadukada agama paino nityastang statikshashva bharata. They come like the winter and summer seasons. It means it's cyclical. Sometimes you get hot, sometimes you get cold, sometimes you're happy, sometimes you're sad. All of these dualities come. They arise from sense perception. And one should learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. I can't remember if I was speaking to you the other day or someone else about this particular subject. I believe it was someone else. Think about it. Sense perception. Right now, millions of people are locked in their homes, and billions, and so many are so upset and distressed about it. Because their sense perception is saying, this is bad, I don't like it. We happen to be locked here in our home in Vrindavan with Radha Vinu Bihari, Sachinandan Gaurahari. Sudevi has all of her Thakurji's sewing paraphernalia. We have enough food. And there's no disturbance. We don't have people coming constantly. We don't have any other place to go. We get to do our seva. So we're very happy in the same situation. The same situation according to our sense perception. We are happy in this situation, whereas others may not be happy, although it might be a similar situation caused by a similar problem. So Krishna says in Bhagavatamrita that these dualities arise, or the reaction to the dualities arise from sense perception, and one should learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. So if someone is in a steady state of mind, then one can engage in the process of bhakti. If one is in a state of lamentation, always distressed, always thinking and worrying about all the problems of this world, the problems of the mind, the problems of the body, the problems sent by the demigods, the problems caused by other living entities and demons and everything, and ghosts and spirits and aliens and everything else, then how can we focus on Krishna. So how, actually that verse says, how can Mukunda, the giver of liberation, reside in that heart that is always full of all of these, you can say, manias of the material world, and those things that we're absorbing our minds on. So Gurudev said, this is the root of all problems, is that we're not thinking of Krishna, that we're not devoting our life to Krishna, that we're not engaging our minds, our bodies, our senses, our words, and everything in the service of Krishna. If we do that, automatically, everything will be taken care of. And Krishna promises, one will attain everlasting peace. That means we will flow with our own nature. We will always feel dissatisfied if we're not flowing according to our nature. Because our nature is to love and serve Krishna. If we are not flowing in alignment with that nature, then we will always feel the pressure of the material energy in so many different ways.
Just like our Guru did when he lost his hearing.
I remember when our Gurudev was speaking about this, he was saying that, you want to tell what you...
When he lost his hearing?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me
You can tell from...
You can just tell it, you were
You mean
there.
the time you asked him?
Yeah.
Okay, so... maybe in the year 2008?
No, earlier.
Earlier, 2007?
Anyways,
Anyhow, we went to see Srila Gurudev, and Sudevi had heard that he had lost his hearing. So she went to Srila Gurudev, and Gurudev had those headphones on a lot with the recorder so he could hear.
But he didn't have them on then.
He didn't have them on at that time. We discovered that Gurudev had very selective hearing. Anyway, that's another story. So she said, Gurudev, I heard you lost your hearing. What happened? And he said, oh yes, 99% in this ear is gone, and 96% in this ear is gone. He said, everyone is so worried. Everyone's so upset running around. Oh my God, Gurudev is losing his hearing. He said, but I am happy. He said, before I was constantly being forced to hear everyone's problems. Everyone's telling me their problems. One after another, this problem and that problem. He said, but now I see their mouths moving, but all I hear is, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So I am happy.
That's perception.
Yes. So his perception is such. He's always chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. He's not hearing all the things outside. Sometimes we would notice that you could be in front of him and you try to speak something to him. If it did not have anything to do with Krishna, he'd be like, what? Huh? Like this? Or you could be in the temple room, right when they started Kirtan, with those massive loudspeakers. You know what I'm talking about, during Kartik. Like 10 massive loudspeakers stacked on top of each other. And Gurudev would be making his way from the Vyasasana back to his room. And all of the devotees would be coming and trying to touch his feet. And at that time, with those loudspeakers going, if someone asked him something about Krishna, he would just immediately respond, exactly according to what you were speaking. That's why I'm saying he had selective hearing. He didn't want to discuss things of the material world. His function was not to think about these things. His function was to help to inspire us in Krishna Bhakti. That is the function of Sri Guru. Of course, he knows our hearts. He knows our material problems. One time, Srila Gurudev said, I know. Don't think that I don't see what's going on. He said, if any brahmachari comes to me crying, he said, I know. And that's for anybody. Oh, what's her name? He said, I can see who's looking at who during Mangalarti. So he was aware of these things. It's not that he wasn't aware. But he said, if anyone comes crying, he knows why. Oh, he's crying because his heart is becoming attracted here or there. So Gurudev said, don't think that Gurudev does not know what's going on in our heart. But we should be open and honest in front of him. We should reveal our heart. This is my condition. This is my problem. Please help me. And then Gurudev will go to work. If we voluntarily offer ourselves, like what Gurudev said regarding yesterday, this Akshaya Tritiya. He said, from today we should make a firm resolution that from today I am offering everything, my mind, my body, my soul, my heart, everything. at the lotus feet of my Guru and Krishna. And he said, and even if you can't do it physically, within your mind, try to do it. Like Vasudeva Maharaj. He was in jail of King Kamsa. But within his mind, within his heart, he offered thousands and thousands of cows in charity. When Krishna was born. And Krishna manifested within the jail cell of King Kamsa. He gave in charity thousands of cows to the Brahmins, so much food and everything, all within his mind. And then when he came out, he was able to do it physically. So Gurudev said in the same way, if we absorb our mind in this idea that I am offering and surrendering my soul, my heart, my body, my words, my everything at the feet of my Gurudev and at the feet of Krishna, then one day for sure this will actually be able to manifest. He said so from this Akshaya Tritiya day, which we observed yesterday, but really it should be at every moment. Every moment. This mood should develop in our heart. By the mercy of Gurudev and by the mercy of Vaishnavas, we can pray to them. When will that day come? But we should have this mood that I want to dedicate myself. And from this, everything will come. All transcendental strength will come. So now we will continue with the reading. I don't want to call it a summary study. It is an in-depth study, 30 years study of the condensed version of Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita. It's just so exciting. So yesterday we read something that Srila Gurudev spoke about Sri Ram. How that one sage who was in Dandakaranya, where Sri Ram came to, that forest, the Dandakaranya forest. When he saw Ram, he expressed his desire that I want to serve you and I want to love you in the way that Sita is serving and loving you in your form as Kishori Gopal. Means most charming, handsome youth of Vrindavan. And Ram gave him all blessings and then told him the process by which this would take place. And so we spoke something on that yesterday. This process. Generally we have this understanding that if I'm perfect in this life and I follow and I chant and everything, then immediately I will go back to Godhead. But if you go more deeply, one should understand that there's a process by which one goes back to Godhead, and that is considered to be within the idea of going back to Godhead. What is that? If you are going to enter into the Vrindavan pastimes of Radha and Krishna, then it is necessary to become naturalized into those pastimes. What is the process to become naturalized? Through birth from the womb of any gopi. In Bhoma Vrindavan, it means any earthly Vrindavan where Krishna is performing his pastimes. So you manifest within the womb of a gopi, and you are born into Krishna's earthly pastimes in any universe where Krishna is performing his pastimes. And from that, you don't know anything else. You only know, I love Krishna. Everything is about loving service. Krishna is the center, and there's no other conception, no other idea. So this is you can say, the last birth of any person who is striving toward Braja Prem. Means the mood that the Brajabasis have in love and affection for Krishna. This is the last birth, but it cannot be considered a material birth because you are already entering into Krishna's pastimes. And then from that, when Krishna winds up his pastimes, you, along with all of Krishna's transcendental associates, you are no longer an outsider, you are born inside. You, along with everyone, will move to the next location or to Krishna's aprakat abode, his transcendental abode in eternal Vrindavan Dham. So, even in Gopakumar's situation, he also took birth again in Vrindavan after going to aprakat Vaikuntha, after going to aprakat Dwaraka, Ayodhya, after going to aprakat or aprakat. What was it? Dwarka? Ayodhya. Dwarka. No, I'm just telling. And then he came back to Bhoma Vrindavan and continued doing his sadhan bhajan within the human form. And then from here, then he attained his ultimate perfection. So Sri Ram is telling this path, and Gurudev is saying, this is the path. As long as our sentiment is not perfected, we will remain in the braja of this world. Because our aspiration as those who are following the path of Sri Rupa Goswami, we want to be Rupanugas. This is our inclination, and this is the indication from our Rupanuga Guru Parampara, Rupanuga Guru Varga. It means we want to attain the mood of the loving devotees of Vrindavan, the Brajavasis, especially those who are serving Shri Shri Radha and Krishna in the Kunjas of Vrindavan, those who are Rupanuga, the Nikunjas of Vrindavan. So here, as long as our sentiment is not perfected, we will remain in the Vraja of this world. After attaining perfection, we will leave this world. Bhagavan himself has said this thousands of times. Now we are proceeding along the path, step by step. And by the mercy of Guru, when the appropriate time comes, we will obtain a body suitable for travel to higher worlds. But the material body is not able to go there. So we will remain in Braj until perfection comes. Gokumar appeared the same as before, but at this time he shed his material form and assumed a purely spiritual form. We've heard this also in the case of Dhruv Maharaj. When he finally attained liberation, it is said that he left his body like a snake leaves its skin. He didn't even notice it falling off. He just continued. Gopakumar also appeared the same as before, but at this time he shed his material form. Because really it's a material body made of gross substance. Think about it. What is it made of? Pus, blood, stool, flesh, bones, marrow, all kinds of things inside, stomach acids. I mean, if anyone was missing their layers of skin, it would be very, very difficult to want to be near them. So it's all of these nasty things, we stay away from it, naturally. And other creatures will like to go close to it. But it's covered in a nice few layers of what we call packaging. The packaging sells the product. It's packaged very nicely, that layer of skin, and this is what everyone's so attracted to. The plastic bag, or in this case, the packaging around that gross stuff. But we don't really know the soul of another. Some people are like, I'm in love with their soul. They are my soulmate. And then a month or 2 months later, they have another soulmate. Meet my soulmate. We're like, well, I thought the other one was your soulmate. Oh, this is another soulmate. This is not soulmate. There's only one soulmate for all souls, and that is Krishna. So in this case, the material body, it does not need to continue. The soul is the eternal part, and the soul really has no true association with the material energy. Asango yang purushaha. It is in a state of deep sleep, like shushupti, and it is riding. Even Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says the soul is riding on the chariot. The senses are the 5 horses leading it, the reins are the mind, and the driver is the intelligence, but the soul is simply a passenger. In this case, the soul is in a state of deep sleep, and it only awakens to its nature, which is love for Krishna. Otherwise...
But does that mean when we're doing those things that are transcendental, like associating, hearing their Harikatha, doing kirtan on their order or under their guidance, taking care of the deity, taking prasad, is is that awakening and touching the soul, or is that still only the body?
If all of the positive aspects of bhakti, all of those things which Sri Guru and Krishna and the Vaishnavas have prescribed to us to awaken our internal nature, do not have some effect to awaken us, then why do we do them? What would be the use at all? We do those activities to awaken. It is said, what is it? Atashri Krishna Namadi Nabavet Grahmindriyai Seva Nuge Jivado Swayam Eva Spuratyada. Using these material senses toward activities, and also the body, to do activities which are favorable for pleasing Krishna, this starts to change our constitution, so to speak. The constitution means it's no longer of the material body, but everything starts to take on a spiritual nature.
And the subtle body begins to starve.
The subtle body, by the process of devotional service, begins to dissolve. Kapila Dev says, just as food, when placed in your stomach, you take it, you eat it, and it goes into your stomach, the acids dissolve that food. In a similar way, by the process of bhakti yoga, by the process of doing those activities which are favorable for pleasing Krishna, the subtle body begins to become dissolved. If the subtle body dissolves, the gross physical body has no more foundation. It has no more sustenance. It's the subtle body which makes that gross body. It is manifest from desire. It is manifest from attachments. It is manifest from
karma.
It is manifest from karma. So according to one's desire, the subtle body, you say it morphs, you can say. If one is attached, very attached to their animals, so to speak, then your subtle body can start to morph. And then the next body which comes will fit over your subtle body, like that of the animals that you are absorbed in. It's just an idea, but that idea is quite appropriate. So the soul's nature is as an eternal loving servant of Krishna. And the material body cannot go there. The material body is not suitable for actual service of Krishna. So at a certain point, through the process of spiritualization over time, the material body will cease to exist. And here it says, he will shed his material form and assume a purely spiritual form. Sometimes there's an idea, and it has been mentioned by some of our acharyas, that we need to take a different body, a spiritual body. But I've always understood from our Gurudev and our Guru Varga in a deeper way that the soul itself, in its purest form, is that transcendental body. That it doesn't need to take on something that it is not itself. Otherwise, how can it be pure? How can it be transcendental? If you're taking on something else, that means you can get out of that thing and go into something else. That's the nature of things in this material world. That I'm jumping into one body according to my desire. That body falls off. Then I jump into another body. Means the soul moving from one body to the next, to the next, to the next according to desires. That's the nature of the material world. But in the spiritual realm, it is the realm of spirit. The soul is also pure spirit. So it is not necessary for it to take on another shell which is not itself. Otherwise it won't be called self-realization. If you can get into one and then go into a different one and go into a different one. It is not really oneself. So that is the difference, the inherent or the essential difference between the nature of this material world, which is assuming so many identities which are not really ourself, and self-realization. Means what is really myself? Who am I? I'm an eternal servant of Krishna. What is my specific seva? What is the nature of my relationship with my particular Ishtadev? How am I serving? What is the nature of our love and affection? How does it move? This essential soul is not just a particle in terms of dead. It is a living, you can say breathing, conscious thing, vastu, and it is eternal. It is not mutable. It cannot change its nature. It is always. It always has been, it is now, and it always will be. So here it is talking about that he will obtain a body suitable for travel to the higher worlds. That may be when you're going to other planetary systems or higher worlds. Let's say if you want to enter the sun planet. We look at the sun planet and it looks like millions of nuclear explosions going all off at the same time. Well, this body definitely cannot go there. It won't even be able to go close to it. It will just burn up immediately. But the soul cannot be killed, cannot be burned by fire. It cannot be cut or withered by wind. So the soul, theoretically, can go there and not be affected. However, if you want to enter into the sun planet and live or be part of that environment, what kind of body would you need to be able to survive and live in that? You need a body made of that substance. So the appropriate body for living on the sun would be a body made of that kind of energy, fire, or nuclear fire energy. Then you can live on the sun. You can relate with other beings who are also living on the sun, who are made of, or who have forms made of the similar substance. Srila Prabhupada explains these things very clearly in all of his books. And the same with the moon planet or any other planet. You need a body suitable for those environments. But in the transcendental, the ultimate realm, what will manifest will be the real, inherent, true us. Nothing to remove. It will just be the pure, transcendental soul in its completed or perfected, awakened state of divine love, prema. So Gopkumar appeared the same as before, but at this time he shed his material form and assumed a purely spiritual form. So he was dressed in this world like a cowherd boy. He looked like a cowherd boy. And once he shed that material frame, what remained inside? He looked the same, similar. He was also as a cowherd boy. Now, like electricity, he crossed in 1 minute the 8 material coverings that had before taken him millions of years to cross, step by step. So what would take us millions and millions of years moving like this? By the power of bhajan, in connection with Sri Guru, one can instantly cross. Gurudev said like electricity. And again, that verse is there. Bhavam budir vatsa param padam padam param padam. Just like stepping over the water in the hoofprint of a calf, in 1 moment, perfection can be attained. If we have the correct guidance. Otherwise, we can take a very, very long time. The denizens of the heavenly planets showered flowers on him as he passed by at great speed. And Lord Brahma and others offered obeisance to him. You know, when Krishna and all of his associates, it's said in Srimad Bhagavatam, when they departed from this world, after he completed his pastimes here, it is said like a streak of lightning, they all descended into the sky. And only those who had the eyes to see could understand this. How fast, but how quickly they were moving. From an external perspective, some might have seen something else, but those who had the eyes to see could see that like lightning, he had moved. So Gurudev is saying like electricity. How fast does that move?
Before you continue, there's just this purport from Srimad Bhagavatam by Jiva Pavana Prabhu, he added, this from Srila Prabhupada. According to the original nature of the soul, a spiritual form, like the Lord's, either two-handed or four-handed, is attained by the devotee of the Lord either in the Vaikunthas or the Goloka planet, according to the original nature of the soul. This form, which is cent% spiritual, is the svarup of the living being. It's Srimad Bhagavatam purport from Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Jiva Pavana Prabhu. I think that confirms the point.
He gave more from Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaj too.
There's so much transcendental information on this particular subject.
Read the thread after. There's much after coming.
Just so you know, you will also find things or information which might appear to be contradictory at times. And when that manifests, then what happens? And it's not just with this subject, with any subject. If you're reading Srimad Bhagavatam or any scriptures, and you find information, or from the commentaries of our acharyas, which appear to be contradictory, especially if one acharya appears to contradict himself or herself in many different places, what is the right thing to do? The right thing to do is to approach another Mahabhagavat Vaisnava and petition them. I'm confused. Pariprashna, relevant inquiry. I have read this, I don't know how to reconcile it. Like Shamrani Didi. She approached Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Maharaj. She understood according to Shastra. Everywhere in Shastra, it's told that only Krishna in Vrindavan has a peacock feather. Only Krishna in Vrindavan wears a peacock feather and plays a flute. No other avatar of the Lord wears a peacock feather. It doesn't even seem to make sense. And yet, she revealed to him, but Srila Prabhupada instructed me to put peacock feathers on Matsya avatar. I mean, if you see the painting, Matsya has a helmet with a peacock feather. Kurma avatar, Narasimhadev. Now, Narasimhadev is fighting Hiranyakashipu and millions and trillions of demons. He's got a peacock feather on his head. So how do we reconcile this? Shastra is saying this, Prabhupada ordered me to do this. How can I reconcile? And this is one of the amazing natures of the pure devotees, because they are all-knowing and all-seeing, Trikalagya. Again and again in Shastra it is said that they can see the three different phases of time, and they are Tattvadarshis, means they know Krishna.
And also the function of Shiksha.
And they also fulfill the function of Shiksha, which is to maintain and increase faith in one's Diksha Guru. Then they are able to reconcile. I remember once we were in Fiji and Srila Gurudev was on a phone call for quite a long time with someone who was having a lot of difficulties. And after he got off the phone, he said, Guru, no. He said, Guru can reconcile anything. And this is quite an amazing statement. Actually, Guru, the concept of Guru is Krishna. Krishner Rup, Krishner Svarup. Krishna is manifesting. As our Srila Prabhupada said, Guru is one. He spoke this in 1936 in front of all of his godbrothers on the occasion of the disappearance festival of his Gurudev Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. He said, Guru is one, who appears in an infinity of forms to teach you, me, and all others. So the same principle or the same essence is manifesting in so many different forms to teach us. And really that essence is Krishna himself, that he's manifesting in so many different ways. So, where was I just before that?
I don't know.
Sorry, it was. I felt it was essential, and I went off on a tangent. So.
Something about Shamrani Didi.
Shamrani Didi.
Oh, the peacock feather!
Yes, and the peacock feathers. So I did go off on a tangent, but I wanted to get back to the peacock feathers. So, Gurudev said, Guru can reconcile anything, and this is one of the main natures of Krishna. That what is told about Krishna is his nature is, or his capacity is, that he can reconcile even all irreconcilable things. That means he has the power to make the possible impossible and the impossible possible. That is called aghatana, ghatana, patiyasi, shakti. We chanted in that bhajan, Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande, Durghata Ghatana Vidhatri. You have the power to make the impossible possible. So please allow my mind, which is like a bumblebee, always go to your feet, which are like reddish lotus flowers. Srila Rupa Goswami says. So Shyamarani Didi asked this question to Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Maharaj, and he's able to reconcile. What is the reconciliation? He was explaining that our Srila Prabhupada is one pointed to Krishna in Vrindavan. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. He said our Krishna consciousness movement is how to become one of the Gopi Jan. So he's one pointed to Krishna. But all of these avatars are mentioned in Shastra. So why is he putting peacock feathers? Because Keshava Dritta Narahari Rupa, Keshava Dritta Rama Sharira, Keshava Dritta Matsya, I'm trying to remember the other name, Matsya Rupa, Varaha Rupa. It's Krishna himself manifesting these pastimes. And so he's showing by this that all of these are manifestations of Krishna. But we should keep our focus on Krishna. That this is a beautiful manifestation of Krishna. Like we told yesterday, what Srila Gurudev said, that we should see our own Ishtadev. Oh Krishna, you have appeared in such a beautiful form as Ram. Jai Krishna, Jai Krishna. Keshava Drita. Keshava Krishna has manifested in all of these different forms. That is how Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Maharaj reconciled it. In a similar way, and devotees are asking, well, why did Prabhupada establish Krishna Balaram in Vrindavan? Prabhupada himself says it. Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu are so merciful. Parama Karuna Pahu Dvijana Nitai Gaura Chandra. These two are so merciful that they have made it possible to spread the holy names of Krishna throughout the entire world. He said, so I wanted to show how Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are non-different from Krishna Balaram. So this is his main center he wanted to show. So he said, so therefore I established Krishna Balaram. Why? We chanted it today. Brajendra Nandanaje Shachi Suto Hoiloshe Balarama Hoilo Nitai. The same Krishna, Brajendra Nandan Shyamasundar, has appeared in this world as Sri Shachinandan Gaurahari. And the same Balaram has appeared in this world as Sri Nityananda Prabhu. So there's a reconciliation there to understand. So I want to continue with this point. So he's saying in one moment, like electricity, or 1 minute, he crossed the 8 material coverings that before had taken him millions of years to cross step by step. If you've ever heard the katha or read the katha of Krishna taking Arjuna
I was thinking the same thing.
to meet Mahavishnu, there was a Brahmin and his sons were dying one after another, 10 sons. And each time one son was dying, he would go to the king. It is the duty and responsibility of the king to make sure that everyone is happy, everyone is peaceful, everyone is satisfied, and that there's no distress in their kingdom. But this Brahmin, his children were dying one after another. And each time he would go. So this Brahmin was very upset. What kind of rulers are you? You can't stop my children from dying. There's something wrong with your ruling, that you are not able to stop this from happening. And so Arjuna, being a real Kshatriya, he decided, he actually made a promise, if I cannot stop your son from dying, your next son, then I personally will give up my life by entering into fire. Krishna said to Arjuna, come with me.
No, the son died, didn't it?
I can't remember the detail of that, but Krishna said to Arjuna, come with me. So Krishna, before Arjuna was about to commit suicide, Krishna took Arjuna on his chariot with his 4 horses, beautiful, brilliant horses. What are their names? Shaibya, Sugriva, Megapushpa, and Balahaka.
I just gonna say that.
Yep. And they went through the outer reaches of the material universe, through all of the different layers. At one point, Arjuna even became afraid because it was such a dense, vast darkness. So finally, they broke through all of these coverings. If anyone can post it, you can see how large these coverings are of this one particular universe. It may be even larger in other universes.
Can post it?
Post it. Post in the comments.
Post.
Oh, the size of the
the
layers
layers
of the material universe.
I thought like how it looks.
No, the size is how many millions of miles each layer goes. So finally, Krishna and Arjuna come through. Krishna, by his Sudarshan Chakra, he illuminated the entire area, but finally they came through all of the different layers, and they came to Mahavishnu. And there, with Mahavishnu, were all of these babies playing all around him. And what did Vishnu say to Krishna? He said, I arranged for all of this pastime just because I wanted to receive your darshan, because I wanted to see you. How attractive is Krishna? All attractive, so much so that Vishnu himself has to perform a pastime like stealing the Brahmin's babies so that he can also have darshan of the topmost, supremely attractive, beautiful Krishna. So when I was reading about these 8 coverings, it reminded me of that pastime. We used to go to bed every night listening to those tapes and those stories. So crossing those 8 coverings, he saw whatever happiness was available. The denizens of the heavenly planet showered flowers on Gopkumar as he passed by at great speed, and Lord Brahma and others offered obeisance to him. Why are they offering obeisance? It is extremely rare that someone actually endeavors for perfection, and much more rare someone actually attains it. If someone is moving toward the path of bhakti like that, service to Krishna, and they have finally broken free from the shackles of the fort of Durga, of this material world, the demigods are completely astonished. Wow! Oh my God! And one has made it out. One has finally attained perfection. And they offer their pranam and they shower flowers in that direction.
Ramananda Prabhu posted it.
Thank you, Ramananda.
If anyone wants to.
Yes, if anyone is interested in numbers, these numbers are quite astonishing. It's not possible to just move out of the material universe by our own power. We need to develop the proper facility, means really taking shelter of Krishna, to move out of the material universe. It's too dense, too powerful, too binding. On my own I have no strength. Ekaki amar nahi paaye bal. Tumi kripa kori. Please give me your mercy, O Gurudev, O Vaishnavas. Give me even just one drop of faith, Shraddha. So crossing those 8 material coverings, Gopkumar saw whatever happiness was available inside of them. And then crossing the Viraja, he arrived in Shivalok.
How do you reconcile don't be hopeless then? If you're saying this is so rare and they're in awe of it, Devaki is asking, so then how do you reconcile not being hopeless?
If we try on our own, then we don't stand much of a chance of making much progress. Or if we do make progress, it'll be very slow. But if we have taken shelter of Sri Guru, especially a Gurudev who is a true Rupa Anuga, like Sri Rupa Goswami is not a Rupa Anuga, he's the origin of the Rupa Anugas, he's Rupa Goswami, and those who follow him are known as Rupa Anugas, like Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, like Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, I already said Bhaktivedanta Thakur, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Bhakti Pragyan, Keshav Goswami Maharaj, Bhaktivedanta, Narayan Goswami Maharaj, all of our Rupa Anuga, Gauriya Guru Varga. If you take shelter of them and hold very tightly to their lotus feet, it means endeavor to serve them by following their instructions. They will take you under their care. And there's some speciality in these personalities which gives us infinite hope. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, Radha Radasira Krishna Sarva Vede Bole. All Vedas, all Shastras say that Krishna becomes the property of the maidservants of Srimati Radhika. So if we're really taking shelter of those personalities who are essentially Srimati Radhika, then we have capacity for infinite hope, because they themselves have the capacity to take us beyond all material designations, all material blockages. They are able to fully and freely traverse. Sudevi would like to add something. I was hoping she would come.
No, it's just because
Say Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Dandavat Pranam. Devaki Didi was saying that it's very rare, and it's true, it is very rare. We have spoken about that as well. But then you also have to see the other side. Where are we now? We are in the time where it is the easiest way and the easiest process to attain perfection. We have come in contact with personalities like Srila Prabhupada, our Gurudev, and so many great Vaisnavas. That is not ordinary. That is more rare than anything. And we have come in contact with so many of them. So we should understand, according to our Gurudevs. First I'll quote Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Maharaj. And he said, don't think that this is your first lifetime that you have been performing bhakti. He said, for at very least, 100 lifetimes, you have worked so hard to come to this point where you've come into this kind of association, in this line, with this kind of goal that we are trying to strive for. He said, don't think that you're just some new person and randomly just appeared on the scene. It isn't. You have worked so hard for millions of lifetimes already. And now, Krishna has heard your prayer. And how do you know that? Because he has stood in front of you in the form of Sri Guru. Krishna manifests in the form of Sri Guru. Our Gurudev once said, how do you know that Krishna hears your prayer? We know that Paramatma is witnessing everything, but if we're praying to that personal Krishna, how will we know that he's heard our prayer? Srila explains that prayer is heard, and we understand that it is heard when Sri Guru stands in front of us. And everything that Krishna wants us to know, he's telling us through Sri Gurudev. That is why there are so many gurus. But Guru is one, isn't it? Akhanda, it is one. Guru is one. The principle is one. They are carrying the same message, but they appear to you, me, and all others in all different millions of ways according to how we are calling and how we need. But where we are situated on this path, we should only have so much hope. We are not like Gopakumar, actually. We know what our goal is. Our Gurudevs, they have told us again and again and again what we should pray for, how we should pray, what is our mantras, what we should aspire for. We're not just going through the universe chanting our mantras wondering, where's this going to take me? No, they've given us one pointed mood, a one-pointed bhakti. So there is nothing but hope, nothing but hope. Just wanted to say that.
Thank you. I want to add a little bit to what she just said. There's a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. Maybe one of you can post it. It's starts with Aho Bata Svapachatto Gariyan. By the time one comes to the point of having faith in the name of Krishna as the topmost, that Krishna is the supreme and Krishna's name is the topmost, it should be understood that they have already undergone all other processes. They have already had faith in all other things. They've already tasted all of that. They've already gone to all holy places, bathed in those holy places. They've visited all of the places of pilgrimage. They have studied all shastras. They have studied all scriptures. They have done all tapasyas, all austerities to come to that point. We've also gone through, and we want to mention this from yesterday. We had an interesting experience a few years back. We went with a devotee friend of ours to the South Indian temple here in Vrindavan.
The Shanai was
Rangaji Mandir.
the
Yes, so the Aarti came. And it's very grand and beautiful, and there's something about the majesty of it which is very attractive. And we went inside, and then the Aarti started. And it's very awe and reverence. So they started playing the shanais, and those kettle drums started going, and those other drums. And the girl who was there with us, and we felt it too. Our hair started standing on end. You could feel it up and down your spine. Your heart starts pounding. She just broke out and started crying and crying and crying. And she said, it's too much. I can't handle it. And we needed to leave. And we were meditating on why this is happening like this. And I think this also relates to Achyuta Krishna Prabhu's question yesterday. We have already experienced all of these other paths, all of these other attractions and even attachments to different aspects and forms of the Lord.
We've been our little Gopakumars.
We have already also done this Gopakumar traversal. We've traveled so much and experienced so many things, including faith in so many different forms of the Lord. And now we're coming to faith in Krishna, because apparently that is where we need to go. Braj Krishna, not just any Krishna, and not even just any Braj Krishna.
So focused.
Which Braj Krishna? Not even just Gopi Jana Vallabha. Radha Vallabha. Radha is Krishna. So much so, like our Srila Prabhupada said, what does Krishna like the most? Radharani. And what is the nature of bhakti? To give Krishna what he likes, what pleases him the most. So our function is how to push Radharani to Krishna. The quote is there in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita purports. Because it is completely selfless. Completely selfless. How refined is it? So this idea, this girl was crying and saying, I can't be here. We realize that the samskars, the impressions, are very, very deep. We have experienced these relationships and serving those aspects before. And it's very, maybe even near, maybe hundreds of lifetimes we have done that. To come to that point, and then to the next point, and the next point. By the time someone comes to the point of having faith in Krishna, Braj Krishna, Radha is Braj Krishna, and faith in the holy name of Krishna, we have done everything. So it might be that still some attraction or some echo or some deep samskar is there. It might still remain there. It may be that it is strongly there. But gradually, as our attraction to Krishna increases more and more and more, then the specific attraction to the other aspects or other forms will not be the same. In the same way that when Krishna himself at Paitagaon stood in his four-armed form, he looked like Krishna, but he had 4 arms. All of these gopis came past. They looked at him, they offered pranam to him, they prayed to him like he's Narayan. Please reveal, where is our Krishna? They weren't even attracted to this same Krishna who was manifesting 4 arms. They were looking for their 2-armed Krishna, their Krishna. And so they offered pranam. Although they accepted he is, in one sense you can say non-different, They're looking at him, but still, he was not their Krishna. So they were only looking for their particular Prananath, that personality who had stolen their hearts. They were searching for him. So eventually, even our attraction, like Raghunath Das Goswami says in that verse in Sri Manashiksha, even one day we will have to give up our attraction to Lakshmi Narayan and Vaikuntha. It's not that we haven't had it, or that we might not, that we might have it still. But one day, if we're approaching this path of Vraja Bhakti, even that we will have to give up. Even Dwarkadish. Yes, even Dwarkadish. There's that history where that Brahmin, he was serving, residing in Vrindavan, and doing so much bhajan. I believe he lived at Radhakund. But then he went on a pilgrimage to Dwarka, and there they branded him. In Dwarka they brand you with different signs of being a Dwarkavasi. Now you belong to Dwarka. Srimati Radhika would not accept him back. He had to remove that brand. How? That body had to leave one day. And then he was able to be reinstated because he was doing so much bhajan and serving. So how exclusive is it, even when someone brought some, what is it? Chach.
Oh, chach, yeah.
Buttermilk, matta, chach, from Saki Stali. Raghunath Das Goswami was so absorbed in serving, his serving mood. Mohan pointed to Srimati Radhika. He noticed that the shape of the bowl which was carrying that buttermilk was different than the shape of the bowls at Radhakund. And immediately he was like, where is this from? He knew it was from a different place. And then it was revealed that it was from Sakistali. Sakistali is the place of Chandravali.
Only next to
Chandravali loves Krishna more than anyone, only second to Srimati Radhika. But how exclusive is our process? That Raghunath Das Goswami, because Chandravali is the leader of the Vipaksha group, the opposite group of gopis from Srimati Radhika. She's not Swapaksha, she's the leader of the Vipaksha gopis. She's the personification of Radhika's mood of submissiveness to Krishna. Amazing, isn't it? And yet Raghunath Das Goswami chased that person away. How exclusive is our particular process of Rupa-anuga Bhakti.
So then you have to think how exclusive are those gurus who have manifested in our lives, which means that we have come so close.
Did you hear that? If we have even heard these subjects and come close to any Sri Guru who is revealing these truths to us, how refined and how close is it? We should understand that we are so close. And we have the choice. We have that choice now. How long we want to take, or we can accept what our gurus are giving us. What they are giving us, our Rupanuga Guru Varga. How close is it? How close is our goal? That we're hearing about the pastimes of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. That we are coming under the shelter of the Rupanugas, who are the maidservants of Srimati Radhika under the guidance of Rupa Goswami.
How close is it?
That we've come under the shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the combined form of Radha and Krishna, the form of their love and affection. We have received Hare Krishna Mahamantra imbued with that mood, which is the sound form of Radha and Krishna's meeting and separation, to awaken Braja Prem within our hearts. How close are we? Our Gurudeva explained, and I will end right after this. He explained that as we are progressing on this path of bhakti, it may be that we take birth closer to the time of Rupa Goswami.
On any other earth planet.
Wherever the pastimes of these acharyas are taking place. So it may be that we take birth at the time of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, or Bhaktivinoda Thakur, as we are going closer, or at the time of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Narottam Thakur, and at the time of our Goswamis. and then entering into Gaur Leela, and from there diving deep into the waves of, into the ocean of Gaura Prem, Gaura Prema Rasarnave Se Tarange Jevarube, Se Radha Madhava Antaranga, we will surface in the association of Shri Shri Radha Madhava. So, think about this though. Apply it. No, this is important. Because we're looking, oh yeah, we might take birth at the time of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. Oh my God. Or Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. We took birth at the time of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj.
Oh my God.
How many lifetimes have we taken birth to come to that point? To Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakshashira Maharaj, Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj, so many stalwart, great, wonderful acharyas. At this time, we have come into this association
Well done.
of these Rupanuga Vaishnavas. So we should really feel endless hopefulness. And I will end with one statement. The order of our Gurudev. I told it yesterday, I'll tell it again. Don't be hopeless. Srila Gurudeva ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Rupananda Gauriya Guruvarga ki jai, Sri Sanatan Goswami ki jai, Sri Gopkumar ki jai, Sri Beyond Vaikuntha ki jai, Gaura Bhaktivedanta ki jai, Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare
पति पावन श्री नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम सचिनंदन गौर हरि की जय। श्रीला गोपाल की जय। श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जी की जय। गिरिराज महाराज की जय। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। गौरभक्त वृंद की जय। जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि।
Kishori looks at the whole time, by the way.
So, thank you all for being with us today and participating and adding so many beautiful discussion points, very important questions and also comments that you've given. And we look forward to being with all of you tomorrow to remember the mercy, the glories of our Gurudev, our Guru Varga, and all of their teachings. See you tomorrow. Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Also, I just wanted to say that on the Global Kirtan Festival of the Holy Name, there's going to be one devotee, Sachi Sutta, who's going to be singing in 15 minutes. Very beautiful Vaishnava.
Friend of ours.
Good friend of ours. Beautiful, beautiful chanter of the Holy Name. So please, if you have time, join that Kirtan. Okay, Radhe Radhe.
Jai,
Hare Krishna.
Dandava Pranam, Hare Krishna.
Sudevi, I can't...